Friends, good afternoon. Today we are headed to Colonel Denning State Park, which we're really excited about.
We were dating, and I was going to school out in Shippensburg, and Ryan came to stay with me for the weekend, and we needed something to do, so we drove out to Colonel Denning and took a random hike. I don't even think we knew what we were doing. We just picked a trail and said, oh, let's see where this goes, and we found the Overlook that we're going to this weekend. You'll get to see that later. It was impressive. I can't believe that we had never heard of it before, that we didn't know what we were doing and just happened to find what we found. So,
well, we walked a long way and we didn't really know where we were going. We didn't have a map or really anything. We just started walking and ended up at one of the coolest overlooks I've ever been to. Booked this campsite quite a while ago, actually, and I got on one of the Pennsylvania State Parks Facebook groups and asked about which site at Colonel Denning would be best, and so, they gave me the best site, pretty much the best site at the park, because we had free reign to book really whatever we wanted, because we were booking so far in advance, and so I believe we're right on the creek, which is going to be really cool. In several episodes already, we've mentioned avoiding the Pennsylvania Turnpike. That's what we're doing again here today. The reason I continue to bring it up is I feel like RVers avoid Pennsylvania because of the expense of RVing or traveling in general in Pennsylvania because of the Turnpike. But to me, I feel like we just kind of take it slow and go around it, basically, and take our time and take the scenic route, which is part of RVing, is taking the scenic path and, not being in a rush to get where you're going. So we're taking Route 30 and we're going to show you some of the scenery along the way. So friends, we're here in Shippensburg, and this is where Rachel went to graduate school, so it's a familiar place, and so this is where we were when we discovered Colonel Denning in the first place. How close was your apartment to town here?
It was really close. It took me 5 minutes to get into town to go to school.
But it's a nice area, and it's a neat little town, so we thought we would share this footage with you. friends, we're filling up with water conveniently right next to our site. But just check this out here. I mean, this has to be the best site that we've ever had anywhere that we've ever been. Because we're gonna wake up in the morning to the sound of this little creek right here. And this is just fabulous. So friends, there's various strategies towards leveling a trailer, and ours is to use 2x6s, which hopefully you can see. You can see the wheel chocks, and you know, in the case of what I'm doing, you just shove whatever in there that you can get in there to try to get it as tight of a fit as possible. This is kind of the most blocks it's ever taken me to accomplish this, but nothing's gonna move, that's for sure. So friends, this has so far been a really good morning. We got to wake up to the creek and some sizzling bacon. So this campsite has everything that we've been looking for, including a very noisy kid, and the dogs are patiently waiting for their breakfast. So we're gonna feed them and we're gonna hit the trail, and so we'll see you on down the trail. We gotta get to the top. So friends, this is definitely a challenging hike. It's all uphill, you know, at least for the first mile or so. Rachel said we've done about 500 feet in elevation, which is pretty impressive. But so far so good. We're all handling it pretty well. friends here, this is the Wagon Wheel Shelter, and I believe it's for people hiking on the Tuscarora Trail, which from what I can understand from the maps is a bypass of the Appalachian Trail. And the sign that we just passed said that the Appalachian Trail is about 20 miles from here. You can get back on it. So this is a really nice shelter, and there's a restroom facility very nearby if this was someplace you wanted to stay. So one thing we wanted to make note of while we're here is the state park, Colonel Denning, is actually really small. The area where most of this hike is actually the Tuscarora State Forest lands. So Colonel Denning is basically used as a home base for people hiking some of these areas. It's, like I said, the state park is really nice, but these trails are even nicer. So friends, before I feed you guys a montage of what's to the right of me, I want to tell you kind of how we ended up, planning this trip and putting all this together. So we told you that we stumbled across this place years ago when Rachel was at grad school at Shippensburg. And when we were looking back on our first adventure here, we didn't really remember exactly the name of the place that we were, or the trail that we were on, or really anything except for this spectacular view. And so we started doing some research to see, where we could camp near it, and we came across Colonel Denning, and we thought that was the right place. And so I started looking on YouTube for videos to see if we were actually going to the right place. And came across a channel. The guy's name is Walter Zolna, and I'll have a link to his channel in the description of this video. But you should definitely go check out his channel, because he has an amazing vlog on this hike that we just did, and some other truly inspirational videos, so you should definitely go check that out. One of the goals of my channel is to inspire you to see places in Pennsylvania, because it's our home state, and we feel like RVers a lot of times skip over Pennsylvania. I'm sure there's various reasons for that, but some of it might just be that people don't know about the amazing places in Pennsylvania. And this is our last trip in Pennsylvania this year, so while you're waiting for us to do more Pennsylvania adventures next year, go check out his channel. But next up, the montage of what you can see from this viewpoint. So right now I'm setting up a group shot of the woman afraid of heights sitting out on the cliff. So let's see how this works out. So friends, this is one of the most epic views we've ever come across, and so we're really happy to bring you here and share it with you today. Now we're going to hit the trail and head back to the campground. The trail was a little more difficult than we remembered. Of course, we might have been on different trails whenever we did this prior, because some of it didn't seem familiar whatsoever. Plus, we didn't have a 3-year-old and 2 dogs with us then either, so it definitely makes a difference. Right now, we're coming down from Flat Rocks, and as you can see, hopefully with the blue blazes on that tree right there, we've decided to take the Tuscarora Trail, and basically we were looking to go down a different way than we came up. I have this weird thing about walking in circles that I just don't like going back the same way we came. So we chose this route, and why I'm telling you this is this trail is considerably more rugged than the Flat Rocks Trail. And you know, we're not sissies, but we've got dogs and toddlers and stuff, and it's a little bit of a challenge. But our goal heading back through here is, I think the other trail is called Layman's Trail, and that should take us back to the wagon wheel, which is where back where that shelter was, and several trails intersect there. So friends, one good thing about this area is it's extremely well marked. These are definitely some of the most well marked trails that we've done anywhere that we've been, especially in the state of Pennsylvania. But you can see, I believe over there's a sign that says Layman's Trail, and should be half a mile back to the wagon wheel from here. But I would definitely recommend not coming this way, you know, unless you're an experienced hiker, because like I said, it's more challenging than it needs to be, for sure. But we're gonna press on. So friends, in the last couple videos we've been asking wildlife questions, and so this one, I'm wondering if anyone knows anything about creepy crawlies, and if you could tell me what this little bugger is. I mean, obviously it's a caterpillar of some kind, but I've seen like 1 billion of them today. They're all over the trail. So if you've got some knowledge, let us know what these are. So friends, if you're coming here to Colonel Denning, this is basically the extent of the state park. The lake is about 4 acres. You can sort of see it behind me now here. They do have a very nice beach across the way. You know, if you have kids and they like to swim and stuff like that. As a whole, the park is very peaceful and quiet, and it's kind of all the things that we like in a state park and in a state park campground. There's other trails too, and I think we might come back and do some more hiking at some point. Today though, we're exhausted from the long hike yesterday. 1,400 feet in elevation is a lot. Even though we was only doing 5 miles, the elevation is kind of what killed us. So today we're just kind of relaxing and walking around here. friends, this little nature trail, definitely exceeds my expectations. A lot of times you do these and they're just short, easy hikes for maybe the lesser experienced hikers, but they don't always take you to beautiful places. But the setting of this one is pretty spectacular, and it's definitely a trail also that you can do if maybe you're out of shape or not quite capable of making the climb to flat rocks. This is definitely a pretty trail, definitely worth doing if you're here at Colonel Denning. Somehow my wife and dog walked right past this big old black snake and didn't even know it existed. Which is probably for the better, because I don't know if I could have ever got her to walk past it if she'd have known it was here. But he's huge. Doesn't seem to care much about the fact that we're here. Pretty cool. So friends, we're doing something a little different because we're kind of experimenting for our week-long trip with some different foods to see what we may or may not like doing. And so today we're doing a Dutch oven beef stew over the fire. So what we did was we seared, and we're also apparently trying to teach Sarah to ride a scooter while we're doing this. But we seared some beef cubes in the hot Dutch oven, and now we've added some carrots and some celery and some onions, and also working on some garlic to go in there, and then potatoes and gravy to follow. So we'll show you the results of this. Hopefully it's worthwhile. So over there, that's Sarah with the scooter, and thought we'd just give you guys a little bit of a site tour here. We are site number 3. I also think site 4 over there would be a good one if you're planning to come here to Colonel Denning State Park. I'm still very happy with the truck, very happy with the way it drove on the way up here. We had pretty much no issues, and some of those mountain passes on 30 was pretty difficult. We got a hammock set up. All these sites here is just electric, 30 or 50 amp actually. Hopefully you can see that there. And got the zero gravity chairs going, and a nice fire pit. And then of course we've already shown you that the creek is right there. All these sites down here in the pet loop back right up to the creek. I think that's all we've got for now, other than the stew on the fire. Well, the good news is
It's still cooking.
it's still cooking, even though my fire kind of fell apart.
That looks good. The carrots are cooking too. I'd say the carrots are probably cooking real good.
Since you last seen it, we added a can of potatoes and a can of gravy. We tried to cook this as slow as possible, so try to keep it off the top of the fire and just let it cook low and slow. How many hours did we do? About 2?
For 3.
And yeah, it was closer to 3 hours. So as slow as you can cook it, and as long as you sear the meat first, it seems like it stayed pretty tender. And we took the lid off for a good while too, to try to let some of the water evaporate. And so far so good. That concludes our trip to Colonel Denning State Park near Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. It's definitely now been our favorite campground, and Rachel's going to tell you why.
I don't know why.
Well, you said it was your favorite.
Well, yeah, because it's so small and peaceful. And I like being right by the creek. it'd be hard to pick a better site than the one we had.
Sarah, was this your favorite campsite?
Yeah.
Are you sad to leave?
Yeah.
But we'll be camping again on Friday.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's all we've got for this trip. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed the hike. Definitely put it on your to-do list.